No suffering allowed, please. The first of the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism is the truth of suffering. And I'm often asked, where is the suffering? I'm not really suffering. Life is good. It's as though they're suggesting that Buddhism is a downer and that Buddhists believe we're supposed to be suffering. Daniel Brown, a clinical professor of psychology at the Harvard Medical School, who is also a skilled translator of Tibetan and a Buddhist practitioner with a knowledge of Sanskrit, states that suffering is not a good translation of what the original Sanskrit word dukkha means, as used in the First Noble Truth. He points out that the Sanskrit word dukkha means more like the dissatisfaction, anxiety, and I'm quoting, unrest that is the result of constant change. So let me try that again. I'll quote, the dissatisfaction, anxiety, and unrest that is the result of constant change, end quote. And he says that a better word than suffering might be reactive, like an abscessed tooth reacts when ice or heat is placed next to it. That's what react means here, approach avoidance. The self tries to get close to what it likes and to push away what it doesn't like. Both of these are reactions. If we will look closely, we will see that we react one way or another to almost everything, constantly. So substitute react for the word suffering, and what the Buddha was pointing out may be easier to understand. And the First Noble Truth then reads, the truth of reaction or reacting. Many of the same folks who tell me that they're not suffering certainly are reacting because they can't seem to stay on their life course or are being beat apart by their closest relationships, which ancient wisdom tells us relationships like marriage are the perfect mirror of the mind, like our own mind. So they're reacting at least to one another, and I'm sure to the speed bumps of life. And of course, aside from lip service, they have no time in their busy life and cannot move a muscle when it comes to any kind of mind training. So I do understand their situation because I was the same way, and I feel genuine compassion for them. They are in reaction, and certainly their compulsive reacting is a profound form of suffering in my book. I mean, we all react all the time. The meditation teacher Jack Kornfield tells a story of an interview with the Dalai Lama in which someone asked the Dalai Lama questions about self-hatred, not liking ourselves. Instead of answering in English, which the Dalai Lama speaks quite well, he began to talk with his translator, and for a long time. After an extended discussion in Tibetan, the Dalai Lama said that neither he nor his translator could find a word in Tibetan for self-hatred or for getting down on oneself. Apparently this is purely a Western concept, and it's a real difference between Eastern and Western psychology. It seems that the Tibetans, as a rule, don't have such a thing as a negative self-image. Think about that. For me, the saddest part of all this is that we can be the cause of our own suffering. It's not something that life just demands of us. We continually sow the seeds of our own unhappiness with ourselves, with our life, and with other people. And fall into a real syndrome or loop into which we seem to have been locked. And we apparently don't know how we did it and we have no time or even awareness enough to remedy it. It just goes on. Beginning meditation, and even many of the more advanced meditation techniques, are geared to desensitize our reactions and to allow those reactions to begin to naturally subside, gradually exposing the actual nature, what's called the true nature of the mind, which is there all the time, of course, but obscured by all of our constant reactions, labeling, and other busyness. This is the basic idea and reason for training the mind for meditation. Like a stuck record, I repeat in blog after blog like this that it's all about awareness, about becoming aware of what we are already experiencing to the point of catching ourselves on the verge of reaction and then not reacting. Meditation practices desensitize our tendency to go off in an endless reaction and allow the mind to just settle down and come naturally to rest and for clarity to arise.